Okay, so I am a bit, I don't know, I'm in a very interesting state. So I wanna smoke. I have a addiction habit. My nervous system is all out of whack, so I attached to the weed smoking, and I've been working with myself to like combat like my habit, being addicted to it, and like being in control of like my choices and decision and my need to smoke or not. And the ways I've been doing that is like exchanging what I don't desire to do, which is obsessively smoke, with things that I do desire to do, like exercising, content creating, building on my brands, businesses, healing, connecting with other people, expanding in my psyche, my spirit, my soul, my heart. And so um, I've been listening to a lot of psychologists, therapists, gurus, amazing women, men, people who are just healing the nation, healing the world. And it's interesting because so when you hear one approach, you'll take like I realized like even when I came into like spirituality, um, from like outside of religion, like being under one practice and learning it from like releasing judgment for other religions, having more knowledge about God and angels, demonic forces, just all of the intricacies outside of it just being the religious dogma taught by the pastors in the church. And I realized like when I come into new knowledge, new wisdom, especially if it was delivered to me by a specific person who might have had um, physical qualities, certain verbal qualities, certain like energetic qualities that align with where I was maybe in my trauma, running, or healing. And so I feel like your decision to heal is the most profound, but the way in which you do it is to me connected to the actual trauma you experience. Sometimes we still even in our desire to heal, it could still be connected to someone who is a placeholder, or who is they're just better than where we come from. They're not like no one's perfect. There's no one. No, I'm not taking that approach, but we all know that there are some people in experience environments where you know and feel and sense like deep within you whether you can actually do something about it in that physical space or not, that this isn't it, that there's always more out there, and sometimes it can impede how you navigate that relationship. um but like for me, hearing all these like different people, well, first I will hear one person, I'll be like, this person's speaking this profound wisdom, but it isn't working for me, or it doesn't really like I doesn't it's not I'm not connected to it. So if something's wrong with me, I must just not be in a space where I could be healed or helped or da da da. And so I keep going and going, find new people, and I'm like, yeah, same things, different things. You get different. Oh, this is better. This is better. Oh, I'm connected. I'm connected. And then maybe something happens in their personal life that is revealed about them. For example, a lot of people that I connected to have been being exposed for not being people of integrity. And there's duality with that, because it doesn't mean that the things I connected to were fraudulent. It just exposes to me like the same things, like how I was traumatized. Like I am green, naive. I don't see um it takes me a while to accept like um people's wounded expressions, or people will say aka negative expressions like darkness, evilness, whatever. So like it takes me a while to come to terms and accept that no, this person is choosing this daily. They're choosing these things daily, and this is the outcome of those choices, whether they do it subconsciously, consciously. You have to be that intentional about what you're doing. So for me, like, I don't, for off the bat, smoking like, it keeps me grounded on earth. Otherwise, I feel like I'm about to go insane, and maybe I probably need to let myself go insane a few times to let me know that I'm not going to go insane or lose my mind, and I can get through it. And so, but typically I smoke to ground myself, to not feel so out of my body, which to me is which to me is I have to have stronger boundaries energetically, spiritually, all of that, because I'm realizing that people will have no regard for you, even if they don't even know you. Like, it's an energy. Like, they know people. They can sense that they could do so. People sense that they can move with you like that. They sense that you can. They can get over. They can play you like that, and you gotta be strong enough, willed enough to say, is this what is this? Is this a person who's trying to test me, or what's going on here? But from my studies, like especially the most recent people I've been listening to, I'm like, all of these methods are helpful. They all could be useful to different aspects of your journey, wherever you may be. Some of these things may actually apply to me at a later point in my journey. And then I'm listening to another guy. I'm listening to him speak, and I was getting a little triggered by like some of his methodology, because I'm like, that's what I want. That's what I want to. That's where I want to be. But I can't seem to trust myself or others to be in that space. And I want to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be. Like, people are doing the exact things they want to do. And that's so scary to even, like, people who are living unintentional lives, because people who are living intentionally and choosing to stay connected to their pain, which ultimately brings their healing, that's where the real work is. And so a part of me feels guilty for all the work that, like, my life, my existence shows all the work that God is doing for me and over my life. I like everything that I do, the way that I do, the way I show up, the way I perceive and relate to things or not. Like, I never was the way that people have thought I was. I was forced to be that for them. Now that I'm in a space where I am 100% who Kawanda wants to be, without, like, if I ever have to choose between making myself uncomfortable to make you comfortable, or making you uncomfortable so that you could deal with how uncomfortable I am better, then I would rather that. I'd rather you be uncomfortable. I'm not choosing discomfort. I'm not people pleasing. I'm not self-sacrificing. I'm not being the bigger person in the name of anything. I have done a lot of work. I have lived a very magnificent life, and I'm not coming from a place of I'm all right. I did everything 100% right. I am perfect. I ain't never did nothing wrong to nobody. I ain't never been mean. I ain't coming from that perspective. I'm coming from a place of acknowledgement and acceptance that there is behaviors and patterns that I no longer resonate with. I no longer want to exist within. I no longer want to condone. I no longer want to visit. I no longer want to what is that word? Where it's like you reinforce it. I don't want to contribute to furthering generational trauma, generational pain. If it requires me to completely do whatever is needed behind me, it will happen. There is some fear. There is some like a lot of, because like something he was saying was like, what happens when you like like what happens when you can't afford the things you need? You know, like it's easier to invest in these and this and immediate gratifications and survival. But like for me, I'm learning to like know what's important. What's really important. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing to get me through this next moment. But after this moment, I can't make decisions that look like that. I can't self-sabotage. I can't put your needs before my needs, because putting you before me doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. It doesn't show you anything. It doesn't show you that I really care for you. If anything, it reinforces that I don't, because if I can't care for you after I've taken care of myself fully, then I have no business. And this is for anybody, mom, dad, brother, or sister. Like the reality is that the struggle, poverty, the lack of resources reveals to people their own limitations, their own it reveals to them flaws about themselves, about their actions, willingness to behave recklessly before considering the intricacies of sex and what you do. But yeah, before when I was running, I had like this, I just had so much to say. And something else that they were speaking on was like trauma dumping. I'm like, maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe that's why I can't really like speak from it from a place of of like wholeness or like articulation, because maybe like all of me isn't safe to do it. It's just more so like a byproduct of the work that I am doing, like having the thoughts and the urges and the desire to have the conversations, the desire to say things, to me reveals like the root of what I'm actually wanting to address. It reveals where I'm actually like in mental dis-ease, like constantly thinking about certain things, thinking about certain experiences I've had with people. Like I have to be willing to do that actual work. And for me, I've spent 4 years going back between my mom's house, my dad's house, being with different family members, and I am not in the business of putting myself in detriment to prove a point. Now, of course, God's will over mine. So I'm not, if that is God's will, then okay. I just don't see myself like willingly doing that. Like God gonna have to, that always has, I've never been, I mean, I'm not gonna say never been. There's moments where I've been completely open and whatever happens. But after the last experience with that, I just haven't been like that open to God's like voice or wisdom, or I don't know if I trust that. I don't know. Maybe it was like a scary out, like for maybe. Okay, so thank you God. I just watched this the other day. So I had the authority. I came with the authority. And it got me an outcome that wasn't favorable, that wasn't safe, that wasn't fair, that wasn't right, that wasn't just, that was completely out of alignment with God's I'm not even gonna say will for my life. God may have wanted that to happen, but that happening, it took a lot from me. It took a lot from me, and it took me a while to reclaim aspects of myself and after that moment, after that moment, I just had that experience knocked so much wind out of me. It helped me birth a version of me that I then took to get castrated all over again. Like, I just keep going back to places and people that could never amount to the things that I desire and need. Not because they don't want to, they physically are incapable, they don't like. There is no human fulfillment for my type of being. Even I struggle to operate at the highest capacity. Do 100%, even though like it might can't do 100% every time, but just doing 80% of the time the things that are going to bring betterment to my life. I can't say that I'm doing that. I can say that I'm making practical steps, realistic moves forward. And it's weird because, like, if I look at my complete journey from 2017 to now, there's moments where 2018 year me was further along than where I'm at now in ways that it's like my journey has, I can't even describe it. Like, there's intellectual moments, there's deeply spiritual moments, like I've tapped into so many degrees of my consciousness that I don't even, wherever I'm at now, like it's not even that I don't have access to those versions of me. It's just they're dormant in a way that I don't like. I think that shit comes up when I need it. You are like in trying to be a certain way in a season of your life when something else might be needed is important. Like, it's important to know what's needed. What is needed. And that's part of what I was going over in my lessons today, because I'm like, dang, all these people sound good. That applies to me. That don't apply. That applies. That don't apply. So I'm like, you would internalize or personalize, like, something is wrong. This is great wisdom, but it's not. That's not working for me. So something like, no, that should not be the tool, the process, the strategy that's going to help you conquer your trauma or overcome your shit. And that's okay. Like, that's not going to work for you. Some people have different approaches. Like, so many things were just said about, like, different things. And you have to be where you are. Like, okay, I got distracted. So, I haven't always had, I struggle to trust myself. Like, I couldn't win for losing. I don't even have, like, there is something that I'm feeling that I don't even have direct memories about. It's like an energetic feeling of, like, being so utterly misunderstood, to, like, you were reduced to nothingness. It's like being there and being invisible, being a ghost. The feeling of being looked at and not received. Oh God, I know. I feel like I've, like, there are times when I know I've, like, been so profound and so impactful, but there are moments when I know, like, my trauma showed up on my ass. And the difference for me is that there are people who live in that. I'm not trying to use that to justify myself, but it's like, there are people who actively are working hard not to, and we get so much slack from ourselves, from other people. We get so much less grace. Like, there's people in your life who you may have these people in your life, you may not, I don't know, but let me just say this. I have people in my life that they'll tolerate certain behavior from certain people because rather that's the bond that they have, rather that's just what they're used. It don't even really fucking matter. But you let you do that exact same thing and it's blown to proportion. This has been the experience of my life. Just because I was nonverbal for a long part of my upcoming. And after I did learn how to speak, not speaking became me having an attitude because I'm not socializing at the levels or like or if I am social, it's like there was no baseline. I do this, I get this response. I do this, I get that. You can't please broken people. You can't fix them either. You can help them, but not more than you can help yourself. Not like I have to find a way to deliver very hard truths. Parts of me, like, it's not a matter of that I don't feel like these people don't deserve it. I don't want to live a life like this. It's not what I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. I want to live for me. I just want to be me. Like, okay, but part of me is like learning to navigate and process through life. And like some of the things he's mentioning, he's like, there's just not enough resources. There's just not enough. Like, there's not enough. And it's so sad because it's like, what do you, like, there are people who are listening to this who are struggling in their minds, in their hearts, in their souls. And what are we going to do? Like, I had to listen to people who are making, they're wealthy men. Like, they're wealthy men, whether it's because of where they are now in their lifestyles, just the peace, the joy that the grace of healing has given them, or just a byproduct of the work they're doing, or to being connected to the, like, whatever got them who they are, they're who they are. But there are some of us who, like, generations, our memories are just boggled down with hardship. And even the moments that we do connect to, of the joy, the laughter, the spirit, it gets watered down and beat up by the world who feels like you don't deserve that moment, that day of accepting that, damn, I'm not feeling so hard. I'm not feeling so boggled down. I'm not feeling so I'm not feeling so controlled by the world. I'm not feeling so trapped. Like, I look forward and I bask in those moments where I'm 100% sober, no alcohol, no drugs, whether I can get it or I can't. Where it's just like, whether I have everything I need or I don't, like, there's just the peace, the joy, the love that working every day, trying to process and heal through trauma, navigate relationships, trying to achieve goals, make a name for yourself, it just doesn't allow. And I realized that I already have a name. Who I am already means something. I come from somewhere. My people come from somewhere. And yeah, we have forfeited a lot of things. But reclamation is now on the land. And there is nothing to be done but knowing and accepting that aspect and clearing out the muck to be in alignment. Like, I beat myself up for showing up how I show up, for being how I'm being. This is who I am. This is what I got for you. And I pray that the people who love me, the people who care about me, are willing to grow as I grow, are willing to hold space for me. And I want to be open about my boundaries, about my non-negotiables, about where I'm at in my life. And right now, Kawanda, I don't have the space, the time. And that's why I'm not requiring it from other people. I don't do false connection, false relatability. This is real life. And if you can't do real life with me, then do fake life by yourself. Be okay with it. Doing whatever you're doing by yourself. Don't try to get me swooped up in all of it. Because that's not what I want for me. And I shouldn't have to constantly remind motherfuckers who want something from me that what they're trying to get me to experience with them isn't desirable. It doesn't work for me. It's never worked for me. You didn't consider what was required or needed for me to expand and be a part of this. I exposed what needed to be corrected. And with no desire for correction, only implemented more. So, like, I realized, like, Mom was like, you know, you feel like this, I'm gonna feel like this, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. You are a mother. I don't agree with that. But I understand where that comes from when you don't, like, who does she have? Who can she lean on? She was a middle child like me. Her mama treated her the same way, damn near. Like, same way she treated me, she ended up being the exact same way that her mama was. Whether she intentionally meant to do that or not, that's just the byproducts of trauma. And that's how I see it. Like, when I have relationships, when I'm around kids, like, I try to limit who I'm around, limit who I've been to, limit that, not because I'm afraid of, like, connection, not because I don't desire to be connected, not because I can't handle the rain, but because other people can't. They will soak up all of your shit and they will pretend to listen and understand and pretend to resonate or whatever, listen, hold space for you, and then next thing you know, like, they're explaining to somebody how you're insane. And it's like, well, if you think I'm insane, then, and I'm thinking that, like, if when I was telling you that you got insanity and I got honesty and transparency, then one of us isn't, we're not on the same frequency. We're not, you know? And people take love for granted because they know love doesn't sustain relationships, but they will convince you you don't love them when you no longer want to be in a relationship with them. But love isn't the end all be all. A person could love you and still leave you, because that's what love is. It's profound and deep acceptance.